And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. It's a big night. It's a real big night here. This is Top Rope Talk. We are your hosts, Denzel Snipes, and the numbers guy himself, Sean Russell, who's front row seat to all the action. Before we get started, just want to let everybody know to hold on. Let me get this music going, man. Sounds a little dead in here. Let's see here. Top Rope Talk. Here we go. I forgot I had some new music, some new tunes is coming in for 2026. So before we get started, everybody follow us on our all of our socials. We're on Facebook, X, also Instagram, and we have the 2-1 special on TikTok. Now, also with that being said, we have our fabuloso website, sideline-sc.com. I've got articles on here. Our guests that we're bringing in have articles on there as well. Also, we've got live coverage of photography from our guys John Shear and Will Peralta. It's all amazing, and there's bigger plans, but I can't tell you right now. You got to just keep up with us, okay? So follow us on all of our socials, and also check out our website at sideline-sc.com. Now, I'm going to bring in guests from a long time ago. We had him on last year. Congratulations to his brother. He graduated college and now he's on the bigger and better things. Well, now he's back. Guest starring on the show. We got Mr. Tyler Sumner in the house. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much, man. It's the road to WrestleMania, the final Raw. I'm very excited. I mean, we got King Kong versus Godzilla practically. We got the OTC against the Second City Saint. And we got a 21-year-old that is going to get bouncy in a ladder match this year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, and Sean, how you doing tonight, brother?
Everything's going good, man. How are you doing, boss?
Doing good. All right, so I guess let's get right to it. Our WWE WrestleMania 42 preview and predictions. We're going to go match by match, every match on the card. All of us going to give our predictions, what we think is going to happen, who we think is going to win. So follow us on this one. Now, let's go ahead and get right into it. Night one, this Saturday. We've got Tyler mentioned it, the six-man tag. No, hold on. That's the ladder match. This is the tag team, the six-man tag. So we got the World Tag Team Champions division, Paul and Theory, with guest wrestler I Show Speed, versus the Usos and LA Knight. Can the Usos and Knight get retribution on I Show Speed? You know what? I'm going to swing it over to Sean. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week. I'm not thrilled about that we had to move the titles and involve celebrities and things like that. I think they could have just found a way to move the Vision versus the Usos to Mania and done a smaller payoff. But it seems like TKO's insistence that there's going to be celebrities throughout Mania, kind of almost like a nod to the 80s and Vince McMahon doing a bunch of celebrities at Mania. It's not meshing well though right now, and it seems very rushed on all these celebrity activities that are going on for Mania right now.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. It's almost as if TKO is having a heavy reliance on celebrities. I read that not too long ago, and I actually agree with the take. But Tyler, what your thoughts about this match and who you think might win?
Yeah, almost kind of basically everything that Sean said about, the celebrity involvement. I actually have more thoughts on that about when we get to the Cody McAfee and Orton thing later on in the show. But given this match, I think you could have just done the Usos versus the Vision. Something personally I would have liked to see is maybe LA Knight versus Jey Uso. Do Yeet versus kind of give Jey that anti-hero persona that he was starting to lean into a little more in the storyline. But I'm going to go with the Usos and LA Knight here just to get the cheap crowd pop, to open maybe Mania. Because I can't see this match just being in the middle of the show. Maybe have it open. But, yeah, I'm going to go Usos and LA Knight here.
Yeah, I'm going to take Usos and Knight here as well. This just feels to me like, hey, let's give the Usos and LA Knight something to do. Me personally, I think the tag belt should have been on the line at Mania. Having them change hands this close to Mania just to not put them on the line at the event, that felt like a bit of a robbery to me. But it is what it is. I think in this one, I Show Speed, I honestly have I Show Speed actually taking the fall with this one. I'm going to say the Usos and LA Knight come out on top on this one. So next up, we have what I thought should have been Hell in a Cell. But it's an unsanctioned match, I'll take it. Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu. Sean, how ugly is this shit gonna get, bro?
Yeah, I mean, so I feel like this is going to be a time filler after a big match, because this is going to go all over the Las Vegas stadium there, and I'm sure we'll get some blood from both of them. But I think you're going to have it everywhere, parking lot, backstage. They'll come back through the arena, and we kind of saw the little preview. When Drew took Cody and Fatu out, we kind of saw the little street fight preview there. I think you'll obviously get that to another level, and given what these two are willing to do and the bumps they're willing to take, I'm definitely excited for this match. I would have preferred it been a Hell in a Cell, but I think it's still going to be a solid match. I think Fatu takes it in the end, but it's going to be a hell of a match.
It is. I think that I've got Fatu in this one, but Drew McIntyre definitely will look strong in the loss. I don't feel like it's a robbery. I thought it should have been a Hell in a Cell, but I mean, as long as it wasn't a straight up wrestling match, because of how they had been in contact with each other, it's to where like no one can break them apart, no one can keep them apart. So you had to make it some type of, they just said, hey, unsanctioned. So whatever happens to you guys, your responsibility. So I mean, I'll settle for that. But Tyler, what are your thoughts about this match, man?
Well, I actually have a bit of a take on this match. I think this storyline-wise is the best story coming into Mania, the way they built it up. I think it's better than the Roman and Punk storyline, and I'll explain why on that later when we get to night 2 and talk about that match. But this match, right, I followed Jacob Fatu all over the indies. This feels like the match where he can finally lean into that death match king style that Jacob Fatu had on the indies. This match has no limitations. I also believe Jacob's going to go over here because Drew is actually going to be taking time off for a movie that he's filming or a TV show. So I think this is going to be a good way to write him off. I think we're going to see color. I think we're going to see some blood. I got Jacob Fatu winning this one. I could see this going a good 20-25 minute match. I think Jacob Fatu is going to win because he took the ass beating with a botch, unfortunately, from handcuffs that we saw on Friday Night SmackDown. That was really bad botch they messed up on. But I think Jacob's going to get his lick back. I really do. I'm going Jacob Fatu here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know what? Considering the whole time off issue with Drew McIntyre, it would make sense. I wouldn't be shocked if something happens, a great fall or something like that, that's gonna outright put Drew McIntyre on a stretcher. Then you write him off TV, have him go film it, and have him come back. As a matter of fact, I'd keep him out until SummerSlam. I'd keep him out, and I would keep him out through the summer, through the rest of the spring and through the summer. Yeah, looks like we got a clean sweep on this one. Jacob Fatu for the dub. So next up, we have our World Women's Championship. So we saw Liv Morgan win the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble match. We saw the confrontation with Stephanie Becerra that brought Liv Morgan to tears. But Liv Morgan has to dig deep and find an element about her, because Stephanie is not going to quit. Stephanie's going to keep coming. And she's going to have something to prove to Stephanie Becerra. And hey, I do have what it takes. I've won just about every championship. Like, I won the Royal Rumble. Where have you been? Right? So I'm going to go first on this one. It's got to be Liv Morgan, man. Liv is, you see it at the bottom, Liv is going to win back the title she never lost. And I'll also tell you, and I'm going to finish this take when we get to Finn versus Dom. But since you've made changes to the Judgment Day in having ousted Finn Balor, now you need a big victory to solidify the group again. And what bigger victory than bringing in championship gold? Sean, your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it, for me, and we've talked about it, the kind of the downfall of the Judgment Day. I think a Stephanie win kind of signals that the group will disband, totally after Mania. Or, a Liv win signals that they're going to move forward. But I wonder how a Liv win meshes with a Dom loss, because we'll talk about it, but I can't see them doing the demon dirty again.
Yep. We talked about this last week. Tyler, your thoughts on this one, man? You going to
Liv
Liv on this one, or are you going against the grain?
See, We know who the better in-ring wrestler is. It's Stephanie Vaquer, and it's not even close.
I'll concede to that.
But I think what's going to happen is Liv Morgan's going to win here, and Liv Morgan's going to be holding the title up next to Raquel Rodriguez. And Raquel Rodriguez is going to turn on Liv Morgan because Liv Morgan screwed Raquel Rodriguez the last time they had a match.
Yep.
Or
She eliminated her at the Royal Rumble match. Go ahead.
Or Roxanne Perez is going to turn in the line with Finn Balor.
Woo! You know what? We definitely all will be in a group chat as Mania is going on, and I'm going to be replaying this show. Okay, so we all agree Liv Morgan's going to win, but Tyler's got a caveat that someone's going to stick a knife in Liv Morgan's back on this one. Before we continue, just want to remind everybody to follow us on all of our socials. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the like and subscribe button for all updates and episodes as well. So, sticking with the women's division here, Women's Intercontinental Championship. And Sean, you and I had a feeling that it would come to this at WrestleMania. AJ Lee defending the title against Becky Lynch. My question is, no matter who wins, is this Lynch's final career attempt at gold? I'm going to start with Tyler on this one.
I'm going Becky. I'm going Becky Lynch. I think this was just a way to get AJ Lee into Mania. I think after this, AJ's probably going to go for the women's world title again. I could see AJ Lee being the one to also take it off Liv Morgan potentially. But I also think AJ's like kind of on the way out for good. She doesn't need to do any more in this business. She's done everything. She's arguably the greatest of all time in people's eyes, not mine. But I respect the decision. She's one of the greatest to ever lace up the Chuck Taylors. But I'm going to go with Becky Lynch, and I don't think this will be her final career attempt at gold. To be honest, the reason why this title is the way is where it is today is because of the series of matches it had between Becky, Lyra, and Bayley.
Okay.
Going back to last year. So yeah, I'm going Becky Lynch here.
All right. Sean, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think Becky is going to get the title back here. I thought they were going to find a way to have AJ Lee continue to chase Becky going into Mania and get the pop at Mania, but I agree that, I think her run here is kind of, she's gotten done what she wants to get done. Maybe she goes after the women's title, and if not, I could see her just walking away and doing some special appearances with Punk, every now and again. But, I think, full-time wise, this is the most we're going to see in terms of what a full-time AJ Lee looked like from her last appearance, when she started back with this return until now. And now we're going to go to a, super, special, attraction type schedule for her.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go Becky on this one, but I'm gonna say this will be her final career attempt at gold. Once she loses this championship, that's it. For the very reasons you said, Tyler, about AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, she's literally done everything. She's done it all. Me personally, I don't think there's any more reason for her to continue. I said the same thing about Roman Reigns in an article, but that's another story. I don't see any other reason for her to continue. You know what I mean? Now, Seth, we're going to get to him in just a little bit, this can pretty much carry the load now. I mean, and I've had the fortunate experience of seeing Becky Lynch twice, even seeing her with her little daughter and everything. And, at some point in time, it's like, I've done it all. I'm going to go be a full-time mother, and there's just some things that's bigger than the business. So I say Becky Lynch wins. Might not be too much long after that. She loses the title, and then that's it. So I think we all got Becky in this one, and we're going to stick with the women's division again on this one, and we're going to go our women's tag team championship fatal four-way. We got the Irresistible Forces versus Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Valkyria versus the Bella Twins. We'll start with Sean on this one. Who do you see coming out on top of this?
For some reason, and just based on what's going on, I feel like the Bella Twins are going to walk away with these titles.
How did I know you were going to say the Bella Twins?
And I'm just, again, I'm looking at the whole picture, and I just feel like they're gonna hold them at least till SummerSlam, and then something will happen, and then that run will be over too. Like then they'll be back, and they'll do surprise returns later. But I feel like with all this TKO involvement we're seeing, it's definitely gonna be the Bella Twins.
So my pick is Bailey and Valkyria, but I had a feeling. I was like, man, the Bella Twins are gonna find a way to steal these titles. At WrestleMania, they're going to find a way to do it, man. And it'll be like essentially their last run because, they're both Hall of Famers, But yeah, so just so you know, I'm rooting for Bailey and Valkyria, but I think the Bella Twins may come out on this one. But, Tyler, what do you got, man?
I got the Irresistible Forces retaining here. Mm-hmm. Push Lash to the moon. Okay, because her man's is going to be getting... I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil my prediction. But she's not going to be the only one in the family having some gold. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right? We're going to put it that way. So I'm going to Irresistible Forces here. Lash has looked incredible since she's been called up. Yes. That right hand that she gives is nasty. So I'm going Irresistible Forces here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I would like to think that they've done a fairly, good job. I mean, because Tyler, I gotta ask, man, is there any knowledge or insight on when Bianca Belair is returning?
So with Bianca Belair, it is unknown because the surgery went well and then it didn't go well. And now I'm hearing that she's having to have the finger amputated, possibly. It was... No one knows what's for sure going on. If Bianca comes back, I think it's going to be in the Night 2 Women's Championship match.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. But again, I hope all is well with Bianca. I mean, I miss seeing the Street Profits too, but from what I've heard, Montez is out taking care of Bianca. But Bianca's been out basically a year? It's been since last Mania. Mm-hmm. So I hope she's all well. I hope she doesn't have to lose a finger. I don't know, man. I have nothing on Bianca Belair.
Okay. All right. So it looks like now, as of right now, she's still recovering. We haven't heard any news saying that, hey, it's a lot more serious to where her career could be in jeopardy or anything like that. All right. Well, moving on here, we're going to hit Super Fight. Seth Rollins versus Gunther. You know what? I had a feeling they kind of rushed this. They signed this match, and the same day, get this, guess who got cleared to return? Braun Breaker. He's medically cleared. So will we see Breaker's return in this match? Sean, I'm going to swing it over to you, man. What do you got?
Yeah, so that was interesting because I caught it on X. It was like an hour or two after Raw. Like, oh, Breaker's also cleared, by the way. And it's like, oh, okay. And you got Gunther laying into the favor that now Heyman owes him down the line. I still assume that favor is going to be serving up Brock Lesnar. But could you imagine if it's just something simple like Braun Breaker has my back, so I'm not losing to Seth Rollins at Mania, and then Breaker comes out, spears Rollins, and that's the favor, and it's a quick payoff, but it's a way to not drag another favor out from Paul Heyman to another wrestler as well, since we've seen that before. But I think somehow Gunther takes this match, whether it's Breaker returning just to get back at Rollins for costing him the belt, or what his shot at the Rumble, excuse me, and then if not, is this Heyman's favor or Gunther's favor is, hey, Breaker's got my back tonight. But I think the payoff for Gunther's favor is Lesnar down the line. Okay.
All right. And let's see. Tyler, what are your thoughts, man? You think Seth Rollins comes out on this one, or is it going to be Gunther? Will we see Braun Breaker come into this match?
So I think this is going to be a very technical wrestling match. Both of these guys are great in the ring, technical-wise. I don't think we see Breaker in this match. I think we see him Monday night.
Okay.
I think Breaker confronts Seth on Monday night, but I think Gunther sleeps Seth Rollins. Gunther last year lost the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, and prior at WrestleMania 40, he lost to Sammy Hogan. So I'm going with Gunther in this one.
Okay. So Gunther comes out on top in this one, but we're gonna see Breaker on Monday Night Raw.
The Raw after WrestleMania, yeah, the biggest Raw of the year.
Okay, all right. And so, with that being said, we're about halfway through here, and now for the match that is, I guess, projected to close out night one. That is our WWE Championship match. Cody Rhodes defending against Randy Orton. Is Orton going to win number 15? You know what? You had something with this one. Tyler, go ahead, man. It's on you.
All right, so let me just say this. We need to give credit to where credit is due. Before CM Punk saw it with Pat McAfee, Adam Cole saw this way before in NXT when Pat McAfee first got involved with the business about Pat McAfee wanting to interject himself in a place where he doesn't belong. He doesn't belong here. I'm just going to say that as is. Nothing against the guy. He's a great commentator when he wants to be. But he has ruined this feud that could have been built up on 20-plus years of friendship.
Yeah.
On 20-plus years of business-changing things. Okay? Since then, TKO just wants, hey, we want the money. We want the celebrity. So here comes Pat McAfee, who was a subpar punter at best, might I add. Not better than Brendan Aubrey, excuse me. So I'm just going to say this. Cody Rhodes is winning. Cody Rhodes is winning because of the fact that the reception has been poor. Cody Rhodes is winning. I think we could possibly be seeing Ted DiBiase Jr. make a return here, being in Cody's corner. I could see it, but as much as people want Randy to get 15, I wanted Randy to get 15 too. Don't get me wrong. But this isn't the right way to do it with Pat McAfee. This fell flat.
Yeah, because you know what, I'm rooting. But what's with the Sean? Sean, your thoughts? Hey, you said it last week, and he just said the same thing. What if we see Ted DiBiase Jr.? And it's a full circle moment.
It should have been, it should have been him in place of McAfee, instead of, coming in on Cody's side. But that being said, the unfortunate thing here is I think it's kind of like Cena's heel turn last year. Is it's too early to smash it. Now, if they do, obviously creative saying, hey, no, we're taking back the power reins from TKO and we're doing our direction. But I don't see Orton losing this one, especially now that we've added the stupid layer of McAfee's going to leave the WWE. Not that anybody really cares since you're not a wrestler anyways, but because we've added that stupid layer to the match, now Orton's going to win 15. And again, too early in a heel run to just, burn it out. It's kind of like the match with Natalya and Maxine that we talked about even on a Raw. It was just too early in Natalya's run to do anything but have her smash Maxine. So I think Jelly Roll gets involved in this, unfortunately. I think McAfee probably takes out Jelly Roll, or Rhodes is distracted. He gets hit with an RKO, 1, 2, 3, and we go home on Saturday.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Orton to win in this one. I know that the build-up has been, man. I mean, it was way better before the whole McAfee got involved and everything like that. And it was reported that TKO made his decision because McAfee, acts as a bridge between WWE and ESPN. And, of course, WrestleMania is going to be on ESPN for the first time ever this weekend and such. But it was just like we was expecting, we would have taken Triple H or The Rock or Ted DiBiase Jr. or somebody, But Pat McAfee, it's not believable. I'm sorry, it's not believable. But also at the same time, an element that we had is Pat McAfee has been one of the best talking faces in sports in the last 15 years, So with that being said, him as a face, he is super over with the crowd. Him as a face, Why would you snatch the rug and turn him heel?
And the whole segment from SmackDown gave me David Arquette vibes. Like, he better never sniff the title.
I agree on that one, most definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna take Orton in this one. I think it's gonna It may very well come down to Jelly Roll comes out there on Cody Rhodes' side, but it may not be enough. I think Orton wins number 15. Speaking of people who have their last shot at gold, this very well may be it. So for Randy Orton, I've got him winning this match. So we're actually going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, it's going to be more Top Rope talk. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to you.
Sideline Sports live every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's not a great league, the American League. The National League is far and away better.
I know we have those 4 games in
All
our
right, John, I'm
book.
going to stop you there. The Orioles haven't gotten to the World
No,
Series.
I'm just saying,
for,
if you're a fan of any team, Cam Newton's always.
Oh my gosh, you just say that name and I know something stupid's coming next.
8,000 points a game. What is Dragon Ball Z's in the WNBA now?
It's in a dog pile.
Stuff happens in the bottom of that
Hey,
pile
a
you
lot
don't
of
even
stuff.
want to know about. You get spit on, you get poked, you get poked
your
in the
hair's
eye, in
pulled.
the ear.
Yeah.
You get, yes.
He's not a leader. He's a child. Go play on your burner account and go have fun.
That is a commercial from our flagship show, the Sideline Sports Show. Tune in. It is every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern here on the Sideline Sports and Entertainment Network. Going to have some great topics and great sports news for you. Our guys, JB Ellis, John Shear, and Dave DeRocher as well. So with that being said, as we keep going here, go back to my... Okay, cool. So, Night 2 of WrestleMania 42. And now for the matchup. And I'm sure y'all want to know our takes on this one. The second super fight. Oba Femi, Brock Lesnar. Has the Beast Incarnate met his match? Sean, what is your thoughts on this one? Who wins?
Yeah, so I think they're going to make Oba look strong, but I think it's one of those things the rookie's going to pay his dues here. And because Lesnar's going to a super fight, I think with his career on the line at SummerSlam, but with Gunther, I think Lesnar goes over, and Oba's going to be made to look strong. He's been made to look strong this whole time, but I think rookie pays the dues here, unfortunately. And I think that's one of the reasons, as much as ESPN's involved in choosing this match to start, I think that's one of the reasons this match is not ending Saturday night. I believe this is one of the reasons it's not closing closer to end of Sunday night, is because they don't want the crowd disappointed. People are going to be unhappy that Oba loses. So by the end of the night, not that people are going to forget about it, but they're going to send it home on a different.
Okay. And Tyler, your thoughts about this one? Give us everything, bro.
Let me put on the real glasses here. All right.
All right.
You know what? Let me actually. My pick.
Oh yeah.
I'm going with the ruler, the one true ruler of the WWE, the man who came out and took Brock Lesnar to a fall from grace, the one who laid out Brock Lesnar in Boston, the one who's laid out Brock Lesnar every single week in the build-up. And that's not where it ends, because I think Oba Femi wins this match, and then Oba Femi runs the gauntlet of King of the Ring. Oba wins King of the Ring and gets a world title opportunity at SummerSlam and faces the winner of said world heavyweight championship match later in the show. And I think Oba Femi beats said title holder in that SummerSlam match. Oba is world champion by SummerSlam.
So by the end of the summer, so not only do you have Oba winning this match, you have him as world champion by the end of this summer.
We are going to have a ruler.
Hold on a second. So a rookie comes in, right? Runs the gauntlet at King of the Ring, and is world champion by the end of the summer. Sean, where have we seen that before?
Randy Orton.
2002 Brock Lesnar.
Exactly. He's saying that Oba's going to have the exact same first year as Brock Lesnar. I love it. All right. I am going to take Oba Femi in this one. I think they're going to meet up twice. So my take is in between you two. I think Oba wins at Mania, but when they meet up again, Brock Lesnar will get him in a rematch. Whenever that may be. I think Lesnar will get him in a rematch, and it may be Oba's only loss between now and SummerSlam. But as far as this one, I'm going to take Open Feminine winning this one. All right, so next up, we've got our six-pack ladder match. The men's Intercontinental Championship. So Penta is defending his title against Javon Evans, the young OG himself, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. Rusev, who seemingly disappeared during the build-up to this, and Rey Mysterio. So I'm going to actually start off with Tyler on this one. Who you got in this match?
Give me the boy that is bouncy every Monday from Greenville, North Carolina. Give me the boy who never ceases to amaze anyone. Give me Javon, man. And not only give me Javon jumping off the top of the ladder doing an OG cutter to some JD McDonough through another ladder.
That would be contender. If we don't see anything better from the unsanctioned match between Fatu and McIntyre, that move would be moving tonight. It would be moving tonight.
Because here's the thing. Penta's the king of ladder matches. He's proven that. Besides Jeff Hardy, Penta is insane in ladder matches. We know what he can do. We've seen Dragon Lee in ladder matches. We know what he can do. We've seen JD McDonough in ladder matches. We know what he can do. Rusev we've seen, but not the biggest fan of that. I think the Rusev spot should have gone to Leon Slater in TNA. Ray is questionable, but we've never seen what Javon can do. And so far, Javon has the best move of the year when he caught that guy out of midair in the cutter.
Oh yeah, that was insane. That's Slammy Award worthy right there. That was sick.
So I'm going with the young OG, Javon Evans, bringing home the Intercontinental Championship.
All right, hey, absolutely. And so with that, Sean, your thoughts on this one? Who you have winning?
Yeah, so I don't think Javon will pull it off. Just in my personal opinion, I think they're going to kind of unfortunately treat him like Kofi here. He's going to hit a lot of the big spots. He's going to be the most memorable part of the match, but he's not going to walk away the winner of the match. I think it's too early in Penta's run to end it. Penta really went through a whole struggle with the Judgment Day and other things just to get to that title. So I think Penta retains, but I think Javon has every big spot in that match is with Javon Evans in some fashion or another. I think Rusev is in that match, to help out a little bit, maybe throw Ray over the top into a pile, things like that, so I think he's in that match. He's got a good place in it. JD, so you could chalk up another loss for the Judgment Day here so they can lean into that storyline down the line, that another Judgment Day member lost. Dragon Lee, probably just like Javon, he's going to hit some really exciting spots. He just won't be the winner.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm actually going to take Penta here. But Javon Evans is going to steal the show. I'm excited for the match just from home. And then here's the thing. You have to have a place for Rusev in this match because you need that one power guy, right? You have to.
That's what he's going to do. He's going to powerbomb Ray on a ladder. He'll powerbomb Dragon Lee on a ladder, and it will bend in half or something. He'll give you that big spot, too.
Yeah, you got to have that, and of course he can throw ladders like Tom Brady passes. You know what I mean? You just got to have that one brute figure in the ladder match. You know what I mean? So, but no, I've got Penta retaining on this one. Javon Evans, he might have move of the night if he does what Tyler says. Dragon Lee is going to show out. JD McDonough, I think, will do a better job than I think. Ray is going to be Ray, the way we've always known. But I think Penta comes out on top. Now, Rusev might have the move that will have someone leaving out on the stretcher. But no, I've got Penta retaining in this one. So now we'll go into our WWE Women's Championship. Jade Cargill defending against our 2026 Women's Elimination Chamber match winner, Rhea Ripley, that brought her on over to SmackDown. Now, Tyler, John, y'all may or may not have read my article. Okay? Will Jade Cargill leave Vegas with the championship? And is she going to leave according to what I said in said article? Sean, what do you got?
So I haven't had a chance to read it. I've been moving this weekend. But so I think, unfortunately, we're going to see an Io Sky heel turn here. And she's going to cost Rhea Ripley the match. And she's joining Jade Cargill's group.
That's exactly what I said in the article. Go ahead, man. Oh, okay.
Oh, it's me?
Yeah. Tyler, what you got, man?
Oh, okay. So, I could see it happening. But I think Jay's going to beat Rhea. And then we're going to hear the famous hair whip. And the EST of WWE is going to return in Las Vegas. And Bianca Belair is back for blood.
Okay. So you got her coming back after the match.
Hopefully. Realistically, I think Sean is spot on. I think it's going to be the EO situation.
Yeah. I mean, I had made mention in the article that you can have it to where she makes the move to SmackDown. Now, you also have to keep in mind as well, Rhea, and I need people to understand this, okay? Look dead in the camera when I say this. Rhea Ripley is winless against Io Sky. She is winless. She's something like 0-8. You know what I mean? This right here would, I mean, not like saying Ripley was thinking about fighting her or anything like that, but Io Sky is going to end up joining that faction. She'll probably chase like the women's US title or something like that. And then Rhea Ripley will come back and is going to set up a match at quite possibly SummerSlam. But yeah, I think Io heel turn right here. This is yeah, so I watched AEW Dynasty last night, and that definitely ain't happening because he fought Ricochet. Ricochet won. Yeah, in fact, when he returned the week before, that like squashed all the rumors. But yeah, I would like to see Y2J end his career in WWE. We'll see what happens. All right, now let's move on to our you know what? Our WWE United States Championship match. Sami Zayn going against Trick Williams. So will Carmelo Hayes actually show up and cost somebody the matchup? Let's start off with Tyler. What do you got, man?
Melo ain't showing up, but I'm gonna tell you who is showing up. The man with the white mink jacket, the man from Greenville, or not Greenville, from Columbus, South Carolina. The man who wears his lemon pepper steppers everywhere he goes. Yep. The man who is going to whip that gingerbread, ginger red, ginger ale, all over the place.
Let's talk about it.
Exactly. Let's talk about it. Trick Willie is winning this match. And you know what he's going to do, Denzel? He's going to whoop that Trick.
He's going to whoop that Trick. Sean, what do you got, man?
Yeah, I think Trick is going to take the title. I think at some point, though, during the match, Sammy's going to go overboard. We're actually going to get a double turn here. Trick is going to come out of face out of this match.
Really? So what do you suggest? What do you think Sammy's going to do?
I think he'll take out the ref after a couple near falls, maybe grab the chair. Just something that the crowd will eventually, you'll do that flip. And you kind of have to at this point because the crowd is chanting for Trick every time. No matter what he says on the mic, he's getting cheered when that theme song plays. It's one of those things like you kind of just have to listen to what the noise is saying.
That's true. Absolutely true. You try to, I've been a long proponent on, nowadays it's the fans who can turn you face or heel, no matter what your plans are. At the end of the day, you gotta listen to the crowd. And at some point, you have to. Because we saw what Trick did in NXT. He was easily the most over guy in NXT until Oba got there. You know what I'm saying? So now that he's on the main roster, you got to push this dude to the moon. You just got to do it. But I'm going to take
I don't know if you guys caught HBK's interview with Carmelo Anthony last week, but, Carmelo gave him a lot of credit for all these guys we're seeing and all the consistency in terms of the talent levels we're seeing come out of NXT now. And a lot of it, you could see a lot of Shawn Michaels' work ethic in these guys and a lot of his showstopper stuff in terms of showmanship in these guys. Carmelo, Trick, Oba, they all clearly listened to the lessons Michaels was given at NXT.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? It's crazy because between the time Triple H was there and Shawn Michaels was there, NXT has never fallen off. It had never fallen off. It was at one point in time, and I think this was a Vince McMahon move. But you guys remember when NXT wasn't a developmental brand, it was the third brand, right? You know? And it easily was the better of the three brands. But because Vince's creation wasn't on top, he was like, oh, we'll send it back to being a developmental brand. You know, Triple H and Michaels put NXT together quite nicely, and they have been, for the last decade, they've been the better brand. So, you know, but all the talent coming out of there, you know, like to Sean's point, you know, Shawn Michaels has done a phenomenal job at the talent that he's had his hands on and developing.
And now you're talking about adding AJ Styles to that staff down there. Like the wrestlers they should be developing for the future should be A+ talent from here on out with those two voices in their head, as long as they can obviously grasp it. Not everybody gets it.
Exactly.
Denzel, I got one question for you though.
What's up?
Who you got as the winner? Let's talk about it.
Oh, I got Trick Williams winning. I got Trick Williams.
Let's talk about it.
I got Trick Williams because, and I've talked about this in an article, it didn't go exactly how I planned it. I've talked about this with Sean. I got Trick Williams winning because Sami Zayn will be world champion by the end of the year.
I agreed with everything you said except that. I don't. Sami Zayn ain't beating Randy. Sami Zayn for sure ain't beating Oba. Like Trick Williams said, we got at WrestleMania, we got to pack up the gingerbread man, the ginger root, the ginger ale, and the ginger diet Dr. Pepper. We got to get them out of here with the lemon pepper steppers.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but also, and I'm going to pass the mic back to Sean on this one. It was that same Sami Zayn that handed Gunther his first L at a Mania 2 years ago. Not that long ago.
Yeah, and so, you know.
Yeah, it was 40.
That they built that up too, right? Where Gunther was kind of making a few mistakes and kind of struggling going in, so you could kind of see it. But Sammy had a lot different momentum back then too, coming off the bloodline stuff. This is my thing, right? And I still think Trick Williams is going to win the match. But this is my caveat, and we talked about this in text, me and Jay. If TKO is going to have more characters on this McAfee Orton thing, and we're going to turn this into a, you know, kind of a corporation type, you know, group like we had back in the day. If Sammy wins that match, Sammy is going to be your United States corporate champion. But I do agree that he's never going to get to the world title. I kind of compare him to Scott Hall. He's going to get close, but he's never going to get it.
But it wasn't that long ago when they said, listen, you're not going to WrestleMania to fight for the world title. You're setting yourself up to, it was Randy that said it, right? You're setting yourself up to win the championship after Mania.
Yeah, and now that he's got the U.S. title, you know, it'd be interesting. Like I said, they can go a lot of ways. I still think Trick wins, and you could still put corporate Sammy with Randy down the line, but you know, a lot lays in this McAfee angle, unfortunately, for a lot of the heels, because, you know, if they're going to do a whole group here after Mania, you definitely have to look at the heels and go, all right, who makes the biggest shock impact the Friday SmackDown after Mania?
Yeah. Okay. I can see it. It can go a lot of different ways here. Hold on 1 second. All right. Okay. So I think we all have Trick winning in this one. Now let's move on to our next contest. So the Demon returns. Is Dom going to find a way to win this matchup, or is it going to be Finn Balor? Sean, what do you got, man?
Yeah, so we talked about this last week, and, you know, I love Dom. I think he's a great performer. The pop he got last year at Mania when he won was one of the biggest pops of the entire weekend. But the Demon was done dirty last time in terms of the little slip off the rope with Roman Reigns and stuff like that. I know that was a way to protect the character and be like, oh, you know, he lost because he slipped off the rope. But as a fan, I didn't like it. And I think if you have him lose again in this scenario where you've been kicked out of the group and now your inner ego is now awoken, and now you're going to lose again, it just kills the secondary character. So I don't see Dom winning this match, and I really hope, for my sake as a fan, I want to see the Demon win, because I want to see the Demon come back and fight again down the line and be a credible character. Because if you keep bringing him out and he just keeps losing, like, it's just kind of a disservice, kind of almost what they did to Bray Wyatt, and then you had to change his whole thing because he kept losing.
That is true. It is true. If someone has a very, very dark alter ego, this is just my personal opinion. If someone has a very, very dark alter ego that does not come out as often, that guy can't lose. He cannot lose. When Finn Balor, his only loss as the Demon, I think, was to who? Seth Rollins years ago or something like that.
And then they followed it up with the loss to Roman, so he's on a 2.
And then he also lost.
No, he did lose to Roman. He sure did.
He lost to Edge at 39.
Yep, he sure did. He sure did. See, this is what I'm talking about. When you got a dark character, a dark alter ego that don't come out as often, that guy is not supposed to lose. He ain't supposed to lose. He's supposed to be the last resort. You know what I'm saying? You drove me to this point. Now I got to get him out of the trunk. You know what I mean? But Tyler, what's your thoughts, man?
I'm going to make this short and sweet. Demon. Demon wins.
Okay. All right. Well, we got about 15 minutes left. I don't think we're going to hit the 4-hour mark because we're now on our last match. World Heavyweight Championship. We got CM Punk defending against Roman Reigns. Can Reigns win one more world title and officially resurrect the bloodline? Now, Sean, you had an interesting theory here. Something about a corporate bloodline. But if you can, let us know your side. What do you got?
Yeah, so this is, and we talk so much in text, so we throw a lot out there. But so I think if you make the corporation on SmackDown, you're actually going to have a face bloodline facing the corporate SmackDown team. Again, fantasy booking here. I don't think they're going to go the corporate route, but I'm interested to see if there's a third person to kind of offset the McAfee disappointment. In terms of this, yeah, it definitely seems like we're leaning back into the bloodline. Now, here's what I think. The Usos are going to win that match, opening on Saturday. Fatu is also going to win his match. And then Roman is going to win cleanly over Punk with no help. And at the end of the night, Roman's going to be standing in the ring. The music's going to change a little bit to that little bloodline red, the video screen to that bloodline red. And you got the Usos and Fatu coming out with the ones to the air. And you've got the new bloodline with Jacob Fatu being essentially that new piece. But it's a face bloodline at this point. It's not a heel bloodline.
Okay. All right. Because you and I discussed this angle before because it's like, okay, if you have this heel corporate bloodline, that would kind of inadvertently turn MFT face. They would have to.
And that, I actually love what they're doing with Tama right now, so I hope they kind of leave that on its own because Tama is about to get a little bit of a push here, and I think it's about time just given his work in the ring. But I love what they're doing with Tama and Solo. I'm surprised that's not on the card. That payoff is obviously coming down the line. But I love that they're doing the whole Tama Shinsuke leaning into his old Japan roots. I think it's one of the best things going on SmackDown than Fatu and McIntyre.
Okay. All right. And so, Tyler, what are your thoughts about this match, man? Who you got winning and how?
Can we cut the music for this one? Just for this one match?
Sure. Hang on 1 second.
Because I want to get serious here.
All right.
And the reason I want to get serious here is because, first of all, I want to acknowledge the OTC. It's Monday. He's back. We all got to acknowledge him. Okay? We all got to acknowledge him. Second, this storyline could have been better. And I'm going to tell you why.
Better, but go ahead.
The storyline in particular should have been better because we should have had Roman Reigns come out the following week on Monday Night Raw or the following 2 weeks because I know the Usos did that thing in between. Roman tonight on Monday Night Raw, and Sean, Denzel, you guys might agree with me, you might not. To me, this is the promo of Roman's career tonight. Roman needs to we need to hear Roman eviscerate Punk on that microphone because we know he can. We know he can.
Punk last week too.
We heard Punk last week, but we know what Roman can do on the mic. I mean, perfect example. Look what he did in the SummerSlam build-up to John Cena in 2021. He said, The same position might have been good for you, but it wasn't good enough for Nikki Bella now, was it?
Mm.
You know, we know Roman can attack,
We know
right?
he can attack. That's right.
But I was in Boston when Roman put Punk through the table. I was losing my crap. I wasn't there as a reporter. I wasn't there as an analyst. I was there as a fan. It was
Right.
awesome. I lost my crap when Roman came out. I lost that was my first time seeing the OTC, so I was very happy. Now remember earlier in the show when I said Obafemi is going to take the title off somebody, the winner of this match at SummerSlam?
Reigns.
Obafemi is beating Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and the ruler is going to hold that title. Or at least, and here's my other prediction: Obafemi is going to come close to tying Roman Reigns' 3-year record. Because think about it, in NXT, who could beat Oba? Nobody.
Nobody.
Oba had to leave the title in the ring.
Yep, he had to give the title up.
And the reason why I think also Roman Reigns is going to win this match is because he said it right when he was on the Pat McAfee show when he won the Royal Rumble. He said, I gave y'all 2 years to try and find somebody that can try to fill my shoes for this business, and you failed. And he's right. He's right.
It's true.
Oh, they found the guy.
Yeah.
Obafemi is going to be the guy to beat Roman Reigns. But in this match, I think we're going to see blood. I think we're going to see a ref bump. Obviously, it's a Roman Reigns match. You're going to get a ref bump. And I could possibly, because there's another member of the Bloodline who's not necessarily in WWE yet, but he has a match with Killer Cross that weekend in Las Vegas. Roman did say before or after WrestleMania, all the Samoans come get him, but at Mania, he's mine. Roman's going to go down, not have any knowledge. We're going to see a hooded figure hop the barricade, take over CM Punk, and it's going to be Zilla Fatu making his WWE debut. To answer the question of resurrecting the Bloodline, yes. And I think the new Bloodline is going to consist of Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns as the shot caller, Jey Uso, because I think Jey is going to leave Jimmy. I think Jimmy's going to go back to SmackDown. I think Jimmy could be a good contender for Trick. I really do. So I'm going to say, you know what? Screw it. I'll say the Usos. So I'm going to say Zilla, Jacob, the Usos, and Roman are all going to be the next Bloodline.
The new Bloodline. Yep. And we got to get Crash out, Jay. Not this regular. We got to
get the Jay who takes his microphone and he go like this every single night. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get that Jay back.
Get the Jay who told Roman, hey, and didn't even say Roman. He said, Joe, get him.
Yeah.
Get him.
We gotta get the Jay back.
Version where he's kind of like de facto leader and the one guy that has Roman's ear. I'm all in because it's a different layer to what you told from last time.
Exactly.
Another thing I think too that I think we need to get the Jay back. You know, when Sammy said the tribal chief wants peace, and Jay said, "I don't give a damn what the tribal chief wants."
Yes, we need that. We need
that Jay. We need that Jay because this hold on, because this Jay every single night going like this, yeet. That ain't it, man. That ain't it. Let's talk about it.
Don't get me wrong. The yeet movement,
it puts asses in seats.
But here's the deal. Jay was actually more dangerous before he was world champion. He was more dangerous before he was Intercontinental champion.
Thank you. Somebody else finally agrees with me. It's about time. I've only been saying this across the college campus at Dean College in Franklin, Mass. for the last 3 years while it was going on.
Yeah. Look at it like this.
Nobody wanted to believe me.
He's known as the main event Jey Uso. Now, he's always carried that moniker, but before he was a singles champion, that was Crash Out Jay.
And he was the right-hand man. And who made him main event Jey Uso? The tribal chief.
Tribal chief, yep.
So I'm going to lock it in. Final answer, for all the marbles on Double Jeopardy, on Family Feud, Fast Money, lock it in. Final answer, Roman Reigns is walking out of WrestleMania bloodied, but Roman Reigns is walking out as the World Heavyweight Champion and losing at SummerSlam to Obafemi.
Yep, absolutely. Now that right there, I think we all are in agreement that Punk's not leaving Vegas with the championship. So unfortunately, he'll lose at Mania for the second straight year in Vegas. You know,
And it's one of those things, though. It's like, do you let Punk lose a second time, or do you let Roman lose a third straight time? And
true.
given the amount that Roman carries, just in terms of weight and other things for the company, like you kind of have to give it to him. I don't
Mhm.
necessarily agree that it's just going to be a 4 month run. I could see Oba being the one down the line to do it, but I honestly think, especially since there's some rumors of them coming back with a draft, I think they're going to
Okay.
still put a rocket up Oba's ass, but they're going to do it on SmackDown because all the healthy guys coming back to Raw all have a storyline that isn't finished with Roman. Bronson Reed, storyline's not finished. Braun Breaker,
Mhm.
storyline's not finished. Seth Rollins,
True.
storyline's not finished. So you'd have Oba
Mhm.
jumping those three guys, and I think that's where they're going to protect Oba and move him in the draft and actually have him defeat
Mhm.
Randy Orton for a title at SummerSlam, and they're going to have Roman go through these stories that were all unfinished due to injury, unfortunately. Because if not, we would be
Yeah.
seeing Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns on Sunday instead of CM Punk versus Roman Reigns on Sunday.
And you know, also another reason why I could see that happening, Sean, is because keep in mind, guys, Oba has not signed any contract to any show yet. He pretty
Nope.
much just jumped. He just jumped foot into this matchup. He answered Brock's challenge. So
He
the only
said, "I want
contract
the man who cost me the Royal Rumble. I want the biggest dog in the yard."
biggest dog in the yard, exactly. But Obafemi has yet to make an actual choice as to who to sign to. That was the original debate. That was the original bidding war between Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. You know, we just kind of left from that and went to. So you can't even really call this Raw versus SmackDown because Brock
Nope.
goes where the hell he wants to. Oba's not signed to anybody. You know what I
Correct.
mean? It's just WWE signed wrestler to WWE signed wrestler. It's not Raw versus SmackDown or anything like that. But if Oba picks up that victory, Nick Aldis is going to push hard. Well, he's going to push hard anyway. He's going to push hard to sign Obafemi. You knocked out the Beast
Yep.
Incarnate. We got to have you on Friday nights.
No, and you just look at the rosters, like depending who's taking time off and not taking time off, it kind of balances it out if Oba's over there. But like hopefully there's like a returning Kevin Owens or other people that are coming over there to give him, some decent matches to build himself up. I don't know if Owens will be healthy enough to take that power bomb spot, but returning Kevin Owens would do wonders to put over an Oba type character.
Yep.
Yes. Yep, agreed. Totally agreed. Well, we are now 1 minute from Monday Night Raw. We went on ahead and did all the time. Tyler, thanks a lot for coming back to the show, man.
Of course.
We greatly appreciate you. Sean, of course, it's always a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Top Rope Talk. And enjoy WrestleMania. We're going to be back
Can't wait to
next
see you
week.
guys.
For the
Can't wait to be
recap
here
show.
next week.
Okay. Yep. I was just about to say you're coming back next week for the recap show because we're going to talk about what made us laugh, what made us cry, what made us throw our remote controls. It's WrestleMania season. We are on the final week on the road to WrestleMania. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Check us out on all of our great shows, and we will see you all next week for more Top Rope Talk. Peace.